going to give you some content tonight as I'm awaiting a mastermind to start here in about a half an hour. I had some thoughts that I want to give to you guys, and they're really powerful. They're really powerful. These are some things that you need to know if you're really serious about living the dream. If you're, and whatever that is, I'm going to put that in quotes, the dream. If you're really serious about living the dream, these are some things that you need to know. And if you don't mind, share this out with your followers, the people that follow you on Twitter, the people that follow you here on Periscope as well. And I'm going to get into these four things here in just a couple of minutes. But I want to say this to you before I get started in the content. 21 years ago, I started on this journey of the dream. And I had no idea the twists and the curves, the bumps in the roads, the blood, sweat, and tears, the times of despondency, the times of depression, frustration that I would go through on the journey. I also could never have anticipated, even though I had big dreams, I never could have anticipated just how blessed I would become on the journey. And not just economically, I've made a lot of money and I've been successful in that way, but the becoming of a different person has been worth more than all the gold in the world. What I've learned, how I've grown, the relationships that I've built, it's been fantastic. And it's a great journey. It's one that I encourage everybody to take. And if you're one of those people who's on the road to a dream, if you're on the road to whatever that thing is that's in your mind, that picture that you have of something great, I think that this is going to help you. I think this is going to be a blessing to you. Here's the first thing that I want to tell you that you need to know if you really want the dream, okay? And this is one that hit me right between the eyes several years ago, and I'm going to hit you with it right now. If you want the dream, I'm talking about that picture that you ache for, man, that you dream about all the time, that you really want, and you think about it and think, man, if I could have that, I would be happy. Fill in the blank, whatever that is. Then I want to tell you, first of all, you must stop convincing yourself that you need a break. I'll say that again. You must stop convincing yourself that you need a break. I've wondered sometimes where the concept of a break comes from. Entrepreneurs that I know, you hear them talk about finding that thing that gets them out of bed every morning and keeps them up at night and puts the hustle in their step and keeps them grinding, and they work late hours with a smile on their face. It's so funny. It's interesting. It's kind of paradoxical that entrepreneurs kind of make fun of people working long hours on a job, and yet they will work long hours on their entrepreneurial drive. Now, that doesn't make sense to people with a employment mindset. But it completely makes sense to people that are entrepreneurs, because an entrepreneur looks at the situation and says, wait a minute, in a job situation, I'm building somebody else's dream. Why do I want to sell my life out to build that person's dream? But as an entrepreneur over here, well, I'm building my dream. I'm building my life. I'm building my vision. I'm going after what it is that I'm playing for. That I'm willing to invest my time in. That I'm willing to get out of bed a little earlier, go to bed a little later, work longer hours to pursue, and even skip the breaks. In fact, I have known entrepreneurs who will get up and start working, not eat breakfast, not eat lunch, not eat dinner, and it'd be 2 o'clock in the morning, and then be like, oh wow, I think I'm hungry. Why? Because we don't convince ourselves that we need breaks. I think that concept comes from the job market, right? People show up at work, they work for 2 hours, and they want their break. In fact, there are some companies that have like mandatory breaks. They take a morning break, and then a lunch break, and then an afternoon break, and then they go home from work or whatever. You've got to stop convincing yourself that you need breaks if you really want to pursue the dream. I know people who say that they want to go after an entrepreneurial dream, a plan B, and they'll go sit down with a lead list and pick up the phone and make dials for an hour, and they're like, oh man, I'm so tired, I need a break. Really? I mean, this is the dream we're talking about. This is your future. This is the thing that you say that you want. This is the thing that you say that you crave. This is the thing that you say that you're willing to lay your life on the line for. The dream. And you need a break? If you want the dream, you've got to stop convincing yourself that you need to take a break. Let me tell you something, you guys. The road to the dream does not consist of breaks, excuses, or leisure activity. It doesn't. Not the road to the dream. The road to the dream consists of hard work and diligence and faithfulness and endurance and patience and prudence. That's the road to the dream. Let the people at the JOB that are building somebody else's dream, let them take their 15-minute break at 10:30 and their little 45-minute lunch break. Let those people be the ones that take the breaks. When you're pursuing the dream, and we're talking about your dream, the one that you say you want, there are no breaks on the road to the dream, my friends. Belief separates winners from losers, but activity, listen to that, activity must accompany the belief. I was looking on somebody's Facebook page today who says that, I know this person, and they say that they want the dream, and they tell me that they're working so hard, but every time I look on their Facebook page, all they're doing is lazying around. That person does not want the dream, I can assure you. So the first thing I would tell you on the road to the dream would be, you've got to stop convincing yourself that you've got to take all these breaks and get consistent with your workflow. Here's the second thing that I want you to know, and this is going to be an encouragement to you. Listen closely. Belief and conviction will cover up the stupid flaws that you will make. Now that should be an encouragement to somebody, because I wish I could see all of your hands, but if I said, hey, raise your hand if you make a lot of mistakes, if you feel like you make a lot of flaws on this journey, I think that every single hand would go up. Everybody's hands would go up. But if your belief is strong enough and your conviction of where you're going is strong enough, then your belief and your conviction are going to cover up a lot of those mistakes that you're going to make and the flaws that you're going to have. I promise you this. On my 21-year journey of making a couple of $1 million in direct sales and a lot of money in real estate and the stock market and precious metals, I just started looking for plan B and C and D and E, anything other than having a job. I wanted to build an empire any way other than having a job. And I promise you this, I've made a lot of mistakes. I've lost money as well as made money. But I'll tell you what, I've been able to carve out the dream. What is the dream? Some of you might be sitting there thinking, well, Nate, what is the dream? You say you've got the dream. What's that? I'll tell you what the dream is for us. The dream for our family was we wanted no institutions of this world with as much as possible. We wanted no institutions of this world dictating our life flow, our schedule, where we had to be, where we had to go, where we had to show up, all that kind of stuff. And so we sat down several years ago, my wife and I, and we decided, well, what do we want life to look like? And we decided, well, we want complete time freedom. Time freedom and freedom of choice was even more important than money. We knew that money would come if we were diligent in our pursuit. But we wanted to be in a situation where we were in control of our time. So I work from home full time now for myself as an entrepreneur. My wife homeschools the kids. They're literally about 20 paces through my studio door and down the hall right into the great room in the basement. They're down there every day doing their homeschooling, and our family is here together. We can take lunch breaks together. We eat dinner together. We do our devotion times together. A lot of times we take walks together, and we've been able to cultivate this dream. See, we paid the price to dig out the dream and to be able to build an empire that literally is controlled from Grand Central Station right here at home. Right here, so that we're in charge of every day. We get to make the decisions for every day. We get to choose how we make our money. We get to choose how we spend our time. There's nobody telling us how to do all that stuff. There is no job. There is no school system. There's no big entity. There are pretty much two things that are certain in our life. Number one, taxes, and number two, we're going to die one day. You can't avoid taxes, and you can't avoid debt. Those two things are for sure. How do your kids gain social skills being homeschooled? That's a great question. Number one, I wish that you could meet my kids. They are two of the most socialed young people that you'd ever meet in your life. They're very bright. They're very intelligent. They're highly social. We have them involved in church activities. They've got a good youth group that they go to. My son has been, he played soccer for a long time. He's been involved in karate. He plays in a band. He's a drummer and a little bit of a guitar player. So he collaborates and plays music with some other teenagers. My little girl's been involved in gymnastics. We're a part of a homeschool co-op where they have field trips together and all kinds of outings. It's cool. And so we find a lot of ways to get the kids together with other kids. And I promise you, not only are my kids, I would say, equally as socialized, but the feedback that we receive is that they're more mature. They're a little smarter. They're more wise in the ways of the world. They've got a tremendous amount of wisdom. Why? Because they're with their mom and dad, the people that love them the most. And the things that I give out to my clients and people that I coach and the free stuff that I put out here in content, they get to live around that stuff. Right? They're getting sort of like my son, he's 13 years old. He's already a stock investor. He has his own stock portfolio. Really cool. He's a cool kid. So, but back to the point here, guys, the belief and the conviction will cover up the stupid mistakes and the flaws that you'll make on the journey. And on the journey to getting to where we are, I've made all kinds of mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes. And I look back at some of them now because I was one of those guys that was really afraid. I don't know if some of you guys are. I was really afraid of making mistakes and making errors. I thought that I had to do things perfectly to end up getting a good result. And what I realized is that I didn't have to do things perfectly. I just had to have that passion and have that drive and that belief and that conviction in where I was going. And that has been enough to bring the destiny that we were looking for into being in spite of the mistakes and in spite of the flaws. So don't be afraid of making the mistakes and don't be afraid of those flaws. You're going to get there if you will hold on to your beliefs and your convictions about where you're going. Here's the third thing that I want to tell you. Catch this now. Start thinking about what you're thinking about. Now, some of you are like, what did you just say? Start thinking about what you're thinking about. What do I mean by that? If you have a dream in mind that you think about sometimes that kind of blows through your mind, don't let it be sometimes. Don't let it just blow through your mind once in a while. Start thinking about it all the time. Some people think it's hokey to do things like to create a dream board, but I'm a big fan of dream boards. I don't think that it makes us greedy. I don't think that it makes us have these like stupid ambitions that are never going to come to pass. I think that having a dream board is awesome because it keeps things in front of us to remind us, hey, this is the goal. This is the direction that we're going. This is the dream. This is what it is that we're playing for. And so when I say start thinking about what you're thinking about, what I mean is be purposeful with your thinking patterns. Most people, when they think about what their dream is, it's kind of haphazard, it kind of hits their brain once in a while, or somebody brings up, like maybe going to a certain place like Paris, and all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to go to Paris. Well, if you go to Paris, why not think about it every day until your mind creates a way to bring that thing into being? It's really not that hard to get to Paris. I've been there 4 times. I've been there in every season of the year, and it's absolutely gorgeous. You would love it. If you've got the goal of, hey, you know what? I want to make $100,000 a year in passive residual income. Then when somebody says, man, I think I found a way to make some more money. You don't need to be like, oh yeah, it would be nice to make some money. I think about that once in a while. Think about it every day. Hey, every single day I'm dialed in on, I want to make more money. I want to make $100,000 a year in passive residual income. What's it going to take? And then as you think about that thing and focus on that thing, what's going to happen is you will find the books and the seminars and the coaches and the teachers and the information that you need to get you to that thing. Does that make sense? So think about what it is that you're thinking about. I'm asking you to bring it from an occasional thought, or that thought that passes fleetingly by the ticker tape of our mind once in a while, and to put it into a purposeful thinking pattern every single day. And the last thing that I want to tell you is this: if you have a big dream that you're going after, and that is this: you cannot defy the built-in laws of nature. You just can't do it. If you are not willing to sow seed, you will not reap a harvest. That is the law of sowing and reaping. That's one example. So you can't defy the built-in laws of nature. If you want to have something great, then you've got to take an action in the direction of that greatness if it's ever going to come into being. And I know a lot of people that think that, I told you just a minute ago to start thinking about what you're thinking about, but I know some people that just want to do positive thinking, like the power of positive thinking. They want to sit around and be like, I'm meditating, I'm calling that thing into being, I'm visualizing it, I'm saying affirmations, and they think that somehow it's just going to come into being. And guys, it's not going to. The purpose of taking time to think and to focus and to do affirmations, it's not magic. It's not hocus pocus. I don't care what anybody else tells you. It's not metaphysical. All it is getting you to dial your mindset in on the thing that it is that you want so that you begin to focus on it. And as you focus on it, your brain that was created by the Almighty will start to direct you and to figure out ways to accomplish the thing that it is that you want to accomplish. That's why thinking time is so important, but you can't defy those built-in laws of nature. You just can't. Whatever a man sows, therefore shall he also reap. So if you want the dream, you've got to sow the seeds in the direction of that dream and be willing to work in the toil of it all, by the sweat of your brow, going out and pulling out the weeds from around those seeds as they start to sprout up, making sure that you're getting the pebbles out of the soil, making sure that you're fertilizing the dream, that you're pouring sunshine and water and nutrients on that dream, and tending the garden of your life until that dream sprouts up and grows into a reality. You just can't fight the laws of nature, you guys. And so those are the 4 things that if you really want the dream, if you're really a dream chaser, if you've got something in mind that you're going after, you've got to remember those 4 things. Number 1, stop convincing yourself that you need to take a break, because the road to the dream does not consist of breaks, excuses, and leisure activity, being lazy. Number 2, belief and conviction can cover up some of your stupid flaws. Hallelujah, I'm so glad. Number 3, start thinking about what it is that you're thinking about. Not once in a while haphazardly, but purposefully every day, spending time thinking and focusing on and visualizing the thing that you want. And number 4, remembering you cannot defy the laws of nature, my friends. You just can't. That you're not going to get something for nothing. Whoever told you you're going to do this much work and get a ton of results? It's never going to happen, my friends. It's never going to happen. However, if you're willing to be diligent, hardworking, committed, dedicated, all into that dream, you can absolutely achieve anything it is that you can believe for. I believe